If you're trying to find a Uplay activation code on Steam, now called Ubisoft Connect for most modern games, you're definitely not alone. This is one of the most common things people get stuck on when they buy a Ubisoft game on Steam and expect to see a product key somewhere. The good news is that in 2026, a lot of Ubisoft games use silent activation, which means there may not be a manual code at all. Instead, the game links directly to your Ubisoft account. In this video, I'll show you how to check for a CD key on Steam, how to launch the game the right way if it uses account linking, and what to do if the code is hidden in the Steam menu. If this helps you out, make sure to hit like and subscribe for more quick gaming tutorials. Alright, let's get into it. First, open Steam and go to your library. Find a Ubisoft game you want to check. This could be an older title, a special edition, or a DLC that still requires a key. Now right-click the game, or if you're on the game page, click the little gear icon. From there, hover over Manage. In many cases, you'll see an option called CD Keys. This is the first place you should check if you're looking for a manual activation code. If you see CD Keys, click it. Steam should display the activation code linked to that game or content. You can copy that code and use it inside Ubisoft Connect, usually under the option that says Activate a Key. Once you paste it in, Ubisoft Connect should register the game to your account. This is the method you'll usually use for older releases or content that still requires a traditional key. Now here's the important part. If you do not see CD keys in the Manage menu, that usually means there is no manual activation code for that game. In other words, the game probably uses the modern account linking system instead of a visible key. That's completely normal for a lot of newer Ubisoft titles. So let's talk about method 2, which is the modern way most Ubisoft games work. Launch the game directly from Steam. When the game starts, Ubisoft Connect should pop up automatically. It may ask you to sign in or link your Ubisoft account. If that happens, just log in with the account you want to use. Once you do that, the game is silently activated on your Ubisoft account. You usually won't need to enter any code manually. After that first link, the game should open normally from Steam every time. You won't have to repeat the activation process unless you change accounts or reinstall things in a different setup. This is why so many players think the code is missing, when in reality, the game was never meant to use a visible code in the first place. If the game still asks for a code, and you know it's an older Ubisoft title, go back and double check the Steam library page, the Manage menu, and any DLC entries. Sometimes the base game and the extra content are handled differently. A DLC might have a code even if the main game does not. That's why it's worth checking each item separately, and if you're trying to solve this because the game is not launching properly, make sure you are signed into both Steam and Ubisoft Connect with the correct accounts. A mismatch between accounts can make it look like the activation code is missing when the game is actually just linked to a different Ubisoft profile. So the quick summary is this: open Steam, check library, right-click the Ubisoft game, go to Manage, and look for CD keys. If you don't see it, the game probably uses silent activation through Ubisoft Connect, which means you just need to launch the game and link your account when prompted. That's the modern method, and for most players, that is the only step needed. If this video helped you find your Uplay activation code or understand why it wasn't showing up, please give it a like and subscribe for more Steam and Ubisoft tutorials. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.